It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas, and we don't have a guest tonight. So you'll just have to listen to me for a while. And I wanted to do this, and I want to say Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans and all the active military out there. Thank you for your service. We greatly appreciate you standing for our Constitution and our unalienable rights, which I know there's some divide, but I know that in the long run, it's all coming back the way it's supposed to be. Now, I have a lot of information that I've gathered and that my friend Jeff has helped gathered, and other friends. And I would like to read through them or and comment as I go along. But I'll be looking down most of the time, and all you'll be seeing is the top of my hat. So I'm going to go off camera and do it that way. So, and I might pop in here and there. But anyway, let's get started that way. Excuse me. Well, let's start with what it was like 125 years ago when we didn't have to ask permission from our government to collect rainwater, to go fishing, to own property, to start a business, to renovate your home, to build a home, to use a transportation vehicle. Oh, that hits a sore spot. To get married, to hunt, to own a weapon, to cut hair, to sell a product, to protest, to grow food on your property, to set up a lemonade stand, or to sell food. You can virtually do nothing without being extorted by our government in obtaining their permission first. And that works all the way from the city government to the county government, to the state government, to the federal government. We have allowed our freedoms to be almost completely eroded. This is all based on extortion and a lot of times RICO. So if you still think you're free as we were intended to be, you're deluding yourself. Someone has termed it, and I thought this was funny because the name of my show is Free Range with Gail of Gaia. But you have to ask yourself, are we free-range humans living on a tax farm? It certainly would appear that way, wouldn't it? You also might want to know, I found this interesting, that this is the 1111th day since Q's very first post. It's amazing how they always match up numbers and dates and so on and so forth. So that's always interesting. Now, I do have one YouTube channel up, and I hope I'm not going to have it taken down because they already have 2 strikes on me on that one. And usually the thing that seems to get them bent out of shape the most is anything to do, if you don't completely agree with the medical narrative out there. So I won't be talking about that. However, it is a life-threatening and life-expending information that you need to seek out, but I won't be doing that tonight. So I see. Thank you, Mary Jean. Okay, the White House has, I'm going to go through some headlines and just touch on it, has said that Israel has agreed to a 4-hour daily humanitarian pauses in fighting in northern Gaza. Wow. If you call that humanitarian, there's nothing humanitarian about anything that's going on in that area. Nothing. Okay. The Israeli Hamas conflict. Israeli troops reportedly are nearing the Gaza hospital alleged to have underground Hamas. I don't even know how to say that. And I never even was familiar with it until all of this turmoil came up in the Mideast. But anyway, we also have some information that the U.S. has been bombing in Syria. That's another thing. I don't know if that's true or not, but it wouldn't surprise me. We can't rely on the information that we get from the mass media. So we search the internet for information. And of course, not all that information is correct either. So like I said, I'm just presenting what is out there. I'm not saying that it's, 100% accurate or anything of that nature. I'm just telling this is what's out there. You use your own discernment on whether or not you think it is. I mean, of course, I'm a little bit selective in what I pick, but that's my own personal bias that I can't really eliminate. So anyway, the media reported on October 31 that there were at least two Israel Defense Force armored and infantry divisions numbering about 20,000 troops that have entered the Palestinian enclave since the start of this ground operation. I am a advocate of peace, and we were going to do a peace prayer or a peace song. Actually, it's one of my favorite songs in when we finish. So also we have this whole Gaza thing. I just hope it goes away. Hamas is actually a dialectic to legitimize genocide. It's a Zionist boogeyman, in reality, a Zionist corporation that was registered in Israel in 1978. According to ICT papers, Hamas was legally registered in Israel in 1978 under the auspices of the Menachem Begin and by Sheikh Ahmed Yassin, a political disciple of Hassan al-Banna, puppet founder of the Muslim Brotherhood. And that is also an equally Zionist organization whose origins were directly and fully funded by the Rothschilds. And also something that's being brought out, I noticed in Telegram, was the Rothschild, what do you call it, humus capnus. I forgot how you say it exactly, but let me see if I can find it. Okay, well, I can't find it right now, so we'll just move along. But anyway, it's very interesting. It's not Homo sapien, let me put it that way. Okay, so Hamas was massively and directly funded by Israel from its inception, at least until 2012, and thereafter Qatar. So, and something that we're not hearing in the mass media either is that the people of Israel are protesting against their own government and leader there, and you know who that is, and they want him to resign. So people are not interested. I mean, people want peace. And we certainly here in America don't want any more of our sons and daughters going overseas to fight in a losing war just to satisfy the greed of warmongers. And that's what's going on right now. Plus the fact that every time we've had a financial change, especially if they were going to do something for we the people, look at what happened to John F. Kennedy. He got assassinated. Look what happened to Lincoln. He got assassinated. Look at what they're trying to do to Trump. My God, they won't leave him alone. I mean, nothing they'd like better than to, take him out. And because he's standing for what's right. And it's just really upsetting. But this time we're gonna come out ahead. We the people are coming out ahead, and it'll be a fight to the last minute, but it has to be. That's why they keep saying nothing can stop what's coming, because nothing can stop what's coming. And some of us go, okay, what's coming? A major change, a major shift, a transition of wealth from the wealthy to the meek. Okay. Anyway, I know nobody's going to believe it until it actually happens, because it just, well, some of us do believe it, but it's just something that has to happen. It's going to happen. It's been prophesied to happen. It will happen. And we need to believe that. We need to have faith. We need to connect with our Creator, because that's who originally gave us the freedom that we once experienced in America, that we're getting back. We're taking our country back. We're taking our finances back as well. And yes, one for all and all for one, very much so. And love wins. And then moving out right along, and just in case if you haven't heard, Sound of Freedom hit the child trafficking thriller and was endorsed by Trump, and now it will stream on Amazon. So if you didn't get to see it, now you'll be able to watch it on Amazon Prime, I believe. But regardless, it's such an important thing, that it's opening the eyes of people to child and human sex trafficking that most people just weren't aware of. I don't know if you're old enough to remember when they had children on milk cartons. Well, many of those children were taken into this trafficking and led a horrific life as a result of it. And we, as a species, need to take care of our children. And that's what this whole thing is about, has been about, is saving children. And I might point out that I do have an affiliate link about a group that actually works with the Underground Railroad, and actually for $12.99 a month, you can help in saving children. I mean, they can't do it without some finances, and it's not just a big charity organization that cheats you or anything else. It's all transparent. So I'd encourage you to take a look at it. It's just Gail of Gaia.savingachild.com. It's horrible what happens to these children. So it's important that we support whatever efforts are out there to help save the children. All right, and now I didn't mention that this isn't in any particular order. So again, I'm just reading a lot of headlines. So we have a military official who blows a whistle telling us that the big banks are about to collapse and the 2024 election will be canceled. And I've seen that now from more than one source, so I think that's probably very likely to be true. They've been coming out with a lot of information about Obama and Michael Michelle Obama and all that. That's old news to me. Something that is important concerning our Constitution that people might not realize, but it just shows the very nature of what's going on with our current administration, what's being allowed to happen. So Article 4, Section 4 of our Constitution requires our government to protect and defend our borders. If the government does not, the Constitution, by virtue of the named part herein, authorizes the free citizens to defend themselves and their state in place of treasonous government. Note, in not defending our borders, government gives aid and comfort to a hostile foreign invasion. And this under Article 3, Section 3 of our Constitution is properly labeled treason. Yes, and let me mention Dwayne Kirkland, who has done a series of little constitutional reads, trying to get people back in line or aligned with our original Constitution. I will be having him on again, or some videos which he has done, probably this next week. It's very important what he's teaching. He knows this very well, and we need to know it as well too. It is our duty as an American citizen to correct wrongs that we see going on, and we need to stand up. We need to speak out. We need to hold their feet to the fire. They haven't been serving us. And it's not the government, really. It's actually the people that are holding the positions that have infiltrated our government and have basically taken over, and they don't care about us. Michael Jackson said that years ago, and he was absolutely correct. They don't care about us. And it doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter what religion you are. Right now, there's a depopulation agenda going on, and all of our so-called governments agreed to it. So we have good military, though, that are, we're known as the white hats, of course, in the military and so on. The people are standing up, and they're taking back. And I know it's not happening fast enough for most of us, but it's very important that we regain our unalienable rights, our rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. How can you be happy when you're constantly having people extort money from you, and you always have to? You're working for a living. Do the animals work for a living? I mean, none of this ended up the way it's supposed to. So we're going to get it back to where it should be. So if you don't feel like you fit in this world, it's because you're here to help create a new one. So that's what I keep telling myself too. I don't understand the war. I don't understand any of that. It just is very disturbing to me. And it should be to you as well, because we're not supposed to live like this. Okay, I have news here that this was like November 4th or so. The House Financial Services Committee passed a bill to ban the Federal Reserve from creating a central bank digital currency. But you didn't hear about that in any of the news medias or anything else. So bear that in mind. They don't tell us what they should, what they don't want us to tell us. They only tell us what they want us to hear, and usually that's a bunch of lies. So anyway, this is kind of funny. All the oil may be in Texas, but all the dipsticks are in DC. I just thought that was kind of funny. In order for us to really begin to understand what's going on in the world right now, we have to be open to the idea of unlearning almost, if not everything, we were taught. The people that do not open their mind to change are going to have a very hard time adjusting, because there will be significant change coming forth, and it's not that far away. A lot of what we see is some form of distraction, because they want you to be distracted from the concept or the idea of treason, which many of them are committing. Many of the politicians and public officials have not signed an oath of office, which they are supposed to swear to the Constitution, making just about everything they do void. So that's another issue that we have to deal with. But as you can see, you can understand why Trump was always saying the military is the only way. It really is. I mean, it's hard for the when somebody's got badges and guns, it's kind of hard to confront them. um, so that's an issue. That's a group the military has to deal with the corruption there. Um, but we also are seeing the how corrupt the judicial system is. Oh my God. I've seen it already because I've had friends and so on get railroaded over petty stuff, myself included. I mean, look at they took my car over expired plates and left me in a position where I didn't have the funds to be able to get the car out. And then they want to fine me as much as what my my social security income. It's extortion. Yeah, that's plain and simple. And it's theft. It's theft of property. And we have allowed it. So we need to change all that too. But here's another example. I wish I could show you this picture. Let me see if I can bring it up. Hang on one second. It just shows how the discrepancies in where in the heck did it go? Well, maybe I won't be able to show it to you. But if you look at, there was someone that was applauded for, I think it was, oh God, what's his name? I know his face. For questioning the 2016 election between Hillary and oh God, what's his name? Al Gore. Thank you. But if you question the 2020 election, they want to arrest Trump for it. It's absolutely ridiculous. And we had cocaine was found at Biden's house. A dead body was found at Obama's house. A male prostitute was found at Pelosi's house. An illegal server was found at Clinton's house. And what did the FBI do? They raided Trump. Now you tell me, if any of those things had happened to you, where would you be? You'd be in jail. You know it. This kind of thing just can't go on. They get away with murder, literally. And the strongest reason for people to retain the right to bear arms is as a last resort to protect themselves against tyranny in government. And we're having tyranny happen right now. In many ways. What's going on? I mean, look at what they're doing. I mean, I can't believe what's going on with Trump. I mean, it's, but I have to say this. He's experiencing what a lot of lower income people, whether blacks, Hispanics, low income whites, they get targeted for different reasons because of the money that's involved in the court and jail systems. They get lots of money there. There's always a money trail in this system, which is exactly why we need to get out of it. And it is a satanic regime. And then there's another meme that I said, I'll just read it to you. How many more massacres do we have to orchestrate before you'll let us take your guns? Never. I don't even have one, but I tell you what, anybody that does, don't give it up, whatever you do. Because people will be depending on you. Hopefully you know how to use it. That's another important aspect of that. But okay. Now I understand that I think it was Letitia James from New York. She's being investigated and she may have already been arrested. Reason being, listen to this. Her salary is $103,375. Okay. Her net worth is $15 million. And so she has some other source of income of $3.9 million, and her inheritance was $20,000. How does anyone get that rich on that salary? It just doesn't happen. So this This is what the problem is. We have a real serious problem with greed. We need to protect ourselves from them. We definitely do. And we need to learn our constitutional rights. I can't tell you how important that is. And this is why I'm going to run some of Dwayne's constitutional little educational series in little mini um, education snippets, you might say. Okay, now this is some information from Judy Byington. I'm sure you're all familiar with her, or many people are. She said that on Wednesday, November 8th, funds were released for a global currency reset that would save the world from a financial collapse. But no one reported on it. That same Wednesday, a cyber attack happened to Australia that created a complete blackout to the country with no phones or internet presently working. Yet the rest of the world were unaware of this highly emergent predicament in Australia's close to 27 million population. They're predicting we could have that happen here, so I hope you all have prepared yourself. But for some reason, I don't think it's gonna. I think we're gonna do just fine. I really do. There are reports out there. I can't confirm or deny that the United States is attacking Syria. What these people in these positions in our government are doing is, in our name with our tax money, is an abomination. It's horrible. I can you imagine why people would actually hate Americans because of it? When we don't even know what they're doing half the time, and what they tell us is usually a lie. So again, just like in every other country, it's not the people. It's the people that are in charge of their government that are taking advantage of the people. So according to special forces were rescuing trafficked children and women and blowing up dams in Texas, Juarez, Texas. There's deep underground military bases all over the country, and many of them are being taken out. Some of them are over 1,000 years old. The ones that are recent with particular beam boring system where it bores as it falls and it detonates a neutron bomb on the back. That's time because it falls at a constant rate. So the timing goes off at like 3 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers deep. And that's that's according to Gene Decode. Okay. Many children have been rescued. I heard on another video on Telegram about med beds that all the children that have been rescued so far have been in the med beds, and it's getting closer to when they should be exposed or brought out to the public, but we'll see about that. I've also seen reports that it should happen around Christmas, but we'll see. I hate to give any dates of any kind because they never seem to hold up, and it's all event driven. It's not date driven. So that's what we always have to remember. So there are white hat police and military operations that are going into overdrive on rescuing children throughout the United States, underground many times. But these rings of human trafficking they're going after them with a vengeance, and rightly so. There was a 5.3 earthquake 32 miles from Pecos, Texas at 2:27 a.m. That was likely one of those underground military bases being blown up or tunnels being blown up. So, also, according on November 5th, Charlie Ward, head of the Bank Redemption Commission, said the U.S. note went live 11/4/23 midnight, and bank crashes will closely follow. So I have been, I've got bank closures that have happened around this area. I know in Cottonwood, Bank of America was closed. I know um, there's they're going down, but they're also talking about wealth management centers that actually could be located in the banks, but it's not going to be a bank, if that makes any sense. Um, but it's because everything will be switched around. Now, your banks have to be Basel 3 and 4 compliant, or they can, there's a likelihood that they can steal your money. However, I have a credit union. They won't tell me. I've asked twice on 2 occasions. I asked them if they're Basel 3 and 4 compliant, and the best answer I've gotten is, "Don't worry, we'll be around here for a long time." So to me, that's telling me they must be, but yet they can't say so because they have probably signed some kind of non-disclosure agreement for everybody's protection, supposedly. I don't know why they do that, but anyway, right now, the United Kingdom has a sterling token, and they're plugged into the quantum financial system. And 48 hours ago, that went live. The deep state cabal now only has paper, so they can only pay people with paper that is going to be totally worthless very soon. The United States has a U.S. note, a U.S. Treasury note, or a United U.S. note for transactions. And this went live on 11/4/23. Of course, we don't hear anything from the news organizations. They're not going to tell us because, again, this is something they don't want. But it's happening anyway. United States note is gold backed, so we will have asset backed currency. It will be gold backed. And as this transition happens, the evil people who have been in control will do their best to try to destroy us in any way that they can. They've had control over the financial market and money for years, and now they've lost control. So they're like a 2-year-old having a screaming fit over it. So, you can expect chaos as a result. However, the rest is that God wins, and He's on our side. That's just the way it is. So they'll have to get used to it. We put up with so much for so many. Exactly. Time's up. You're done. You had your chance. You had your years and years of exploiting, extorting, and taking advantage of humanity. And it's all about to change. Okay, bank failures. A Wells Fargo customer reported this. Wells Fargo vanished my savings account. According to them, there is no record I ever had a savings account with them. So they asked me for my statement. My statement is online, and the only way I can access my statement is through my online account, which has vanished. Let this be a reminder to monitor your bank account. So you hear that? Monitor your bank account. The banks are hurting right now, and they have no qualms about stealing your money. They're very accustomed to doing that sort of thing. So, moving right along, taxation is theft and arming 87,000 IRS agents. I don't think that's true, but it's just flat out, it's armed robbery. I mean, how else could you put it? And I think Republican Lauren Boebert said something exactly to that effect. And It is. It's armed robbery. There's no doubt about it. They've been robbing us blind about that. And what most people didn't realize, our federal taxes were going to the crown. It wasn't even here in the United States. It's going to the crown, just like all the courts and the judges and the attorneys. They're all foreign agents because they belong to the bar. That stands for British. Anyway, moving right along, we also have a picture that on October 31st, the current administration deployed a heavy machinery out to lift the razor wire for a massive mob of illegals to get through and into the country. That's treason. That is this invasion. This isn't immigration, it's invasion. And to allow it is treasonous. Just like I read, that's why I read that about the Article 4 of the Constitution. I mean, come on, people, we got to stand up for what's going on here and not approve of it. It's amazing. So, that would be nice. Laurel Ann is saying that. I think the IRS agents are going to take the richest rich and give it to the poor. Wouldn't that be a treasure to? Wow, that's amazing. Okay, I have some more here on that very same thing. This is by Border Hawk News. Borderhawk.news, if you want to look it up yourself. Border Hawk cameras captured the moment Border Patrol, who you would think are on our side, used heavy machinery to raise concertina wire erected by Texas authorities just as a group of more than 300 illegal aliens coincidentally arrived in the area and stormed the riverbank at Eagle Pass, Texas. This huge caravan of around 300 migrants crossed the Eagle Pass thanks to Border Patrol lifting the barbed wire. If you're Border Patrol, I would think you would have signed an oath to the Constitution as well. And what you just did, you could be charged with treason. So anyway, hundreds of migrants were able to cross in a few minutes. Wow. And that report came from correspondent Efren Gonzalez. Unbelievable. So Michigan voted out a local government over China-linked EV plant. It was going to create 2,350 jobs, but the town voted them out. Now that's people standing up at the local level. That's a good thing. Wow. On November 8th, there's a video out there with Ann Vandersteel and Mel Kay, and they talk about hard-hitting truth and personal impact stories that make a difference. So that might be something you might want to look up and watch. I haven't seen it myself. I just had the headlines there. So the other thing that I wanted to bring out was there is talk that half of the U.S., and it almost goes right down the middle, a little bit past the middle of the east side of the country, with the exception of Florida, as not having inadequate power capacity for peak winter demands. So if you have the means, and not everybody does, but if you have the means to have a generator and extra fuel on hand, you might want to think about it. But there's also other ways of getting, extra clothing, they have things that you can heat your hands and feet. There's stuff out there, but again, you have to be able to afford it. So that can be the problem. So Greenpeace co-founder, Dr. Patrick Moore, Net zero policies will result in mass starvation and genocide. If we ban fossil fuels, agricultural production would collapse in a very short period of time. People will begin to starve, and half the population will die in a very short period of time. That's not going to, I don't think that's going to happen, but um, that's what's out there. And I hope I'm right that it doesn't happen, but this ridiculousness of just all of a sudden stopping all fossil, and it's not even fossil fuel, that's a misnomer right there, stopping all gas and so on, it's just ridiculous. I mean, you got to transition. You can't just all of a sudden cut something out unless you have the intention of starving people. And that is many of our so-called leaders' intentions. And it's also known as depopulation and genocide. So we have to have people, you're going to have to defy, you're going to have to not comply. That's what it comes down to. Even, our farmers have to say no. Our ranchers have to say no. I'm not injecting our cattle with that. No, I'm not going to plow this field under, or I'm not going to kill all these chickens. I mean, they are really trying to create food shortages and starvation to take us out. And it's really very much aimed at the United States. They want to take America down. It started with Obama. Well, it started even before that, but wow, we lost a lot of ground there. Okay, let's see what's summarize something. So one has to claim the name. It's property by definition in law. A first and last name is a legal fictitious entity. The state owns your name. You have ownership, which is use and possession. Yeah, all of that is, the all capitalized name that they use, by the DMV uses, and anything legal uses that too, because you're a dead corpse basically when you say that you're that entity or that person. It's all been done by deception and fraud. So and they say you're contracted, and I'm sorry, but when you're not, when there is no full disclosure of what that contract all entails, it makes it null and void. And it's even more null and void when you find out that these people that are putting this out there have not even signed an oath of office. That's big. That means what they're saying doesn't hold any weight. But we still have to stand up, speak out, and not accept it. Okay. This is from Tucker Carlson. Okay. And Tucker's been on fire here lately as he finds out more and more. And he has a great way of saying things. So, abrupt change is coming. Tucker Carlson issues a dire warning for America. There is no one I like better than Tucker for speaking out the truth for the people. His clear, incisive wording and authentically dramatic tone convey an imperative much needed for today. As a court jester from the past would sober up those in power and shake them free of self-importance. Tucker smacks not only the leadership, but the populace that aren't paying close enough attention to what is really going on. And that is a big frustration that I have as well. People need to pay attention to what is going on. And apparently they're not. They are, people are waking up, but we need to hurry it up. It needs to get faster. You can say you care about America, but if you're sending 100 billion to foreign countries right now, you're lying. You know what doesn't work? Saying we're going to spend $100 billion on other countries. And I don't care how virtuous the case those countries make is, the moral duty of the people running the country is to look out for the people in that country, period. Tucker Carlson said that, and I couldn't agree more. So In the Mr. Pool on Telegram, it was stated, and it's got a picture of McAfee, every president after John F. Kennedy, but Reagan and Trump, all were CIA. Did you hear me say that? Every president after Jack, but Reagan and Trump are all CIA. Whoa. Okay, I also have a picture of Clarence Thomas, who says, don't forget, I have sole independent power to rule on the 2020 and 2022 election fraud case that would have a nationwide ripple effect. Well, step up and do your job, is what I have to say to that. I remember I have a little bit of concern where he's concerned, and he may be great, but he used to work for Monsanto Corporation, and I have no respect or love for Monsanto. They have destroyed our soil, they have destroyed our health, and they destroyed our food supply and food chain, as far as I'm concerned, with their GMO crap seeds. So we'll see what happens there. He would really do a great service to this country if he came out and told the truth, because they have the truth. The military knows already. Why they haven't come out yet, I don't know. I guess what they say is they're trying to weed out more corruption, but enough is enough. It's becoming more and more obvious. So, okay, this is from 107. With the Trump comeback, and he's coming back, you're going to have a completely different world. I saw a t-shirt that said, Jesus is coming back, and he's pissed. Well, Trump's coming back, and man, he's pissed. Trump has given pieces of it. We're not going to have a next election. We're going to have to take a pause. The pause is going to have to be for 4 years in order to get everything cleared out. There's military aspect to what has to happen. Definitely. You can see that. Unfortunately, we got a whole bunch of people who have gotten into high office, and their allegiances are to the globalists and the global operations that are totally un-American. Just like giving our rights away to the World Health Organization or the UN. You really should look up the website, what is it? PreventGenocide2030.org. And Dr. Rima Label was the one that has created that site, and she has signs, I will not comply, and there's letters that you can send to your Congress people saying, get us out of the UN, get us out of the WHO. We're not giving our rights away, or our what that means is they would be able to tell us what to do with our health. They would be able to tell us we had to get one of those things that they put in your arm. I better not say it. So we need to get out of those organizations. They're un-American, and they're a part of the agenda to take down America. So America, you need to stand up, speak out, and be there to help us all take our unalienable rights back. Okay. We have to weed out those people, and it's going to take Donald Trump literally operating almost as a king for a period of time. All right, and that's what continuity of a government actually allows for. So, what a mess that's been created. That continues, and I'm hoping that it ends very soon, and Trump comes back, and we have peace on earth. Now I want to play a prayer song, and and then we'll call it a wrap. So let me bring that up. Okay.
Make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. Oh, divine Master, grant that I may know so mercy to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, it is in dying that we are born into eternal life. Others have shared to God, others have shared. God is true throughout the ages. Nanak hosi pe sache. Trust the light that shines within. All the sight to God the Son. Have the Son. Nanak hosi pe sache. All the sight to God the Son, have the Son, Nanak hosi besat. Others sache. To God the sache. Habe sache. Nanak hosi be sache.
Such a beautiful song. I hope you enjoyed that. And one last thing before I close is I would like to share with you a little bit about a program or a product that I'm carrying that I would like you to please take a look at. It helps to support my channel and it will help support you. It is here we go. It is the SuperPatches, and I know I've been talking about them a lot lately, but they're very, very amazing. And the thing that I love about them is they're drug-free, they're clinically tested, and you've got a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's literally Braille for the brain, as they've said. It's backed by science. And look at this. You You can get, with the Ignite patch, you can increase your resting metabolic rate by as much as 25%. Some people raise it even higher. In athletics, you can increase your power by as much as 22%, improve balance and stability by 31%. Physical therapists report significant improvement in their clients and patients. Improved rate, force, strength, and stamina, again, 18% for athletic. Your peak force related to your stability and so on, and improve focus by 31% for studying, for school, for taking tests. Anyway, these are wonderful because they are drug-free, and the way that it works is it actually works. There's the patch is medical grade plastic, and it's medical grade adhesive, but there's no ingredient. The only thing that's on the patch is a code that's 3D printed on it that is known and has been studied to contribute to the neural network of whatever the issue happens to be. So that being said, I'm going to please check the in the description. I have all that information in there, and you can go to that website. You can ask, all your questions will be answered there because they have a frequently asked questions section as well, and an explanation of all the different products. But again, the beauty of it is they're drug-free, ingredient-free, clinically tested, FDA registered, and and they're having amazing results. So check it out, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here, and I hope you appreciate these news updates. And I'll see you again soon. In fact, I have a show tomorrow again at I believe it's 4:00 Mountain Standard Time. See you then. Have a wonderful evening. Let me say goodbye, everybody. Much love out there. Fight for peace. That sounds crazy to fight for peace, but peace is only 100 points away in frequency from enlightenment. It actually goes love, joy, peace, enlightenment. So remember that. We need peace to get to where we really want to go. So stand for peace. And I'll see you again soon. A lot of love out there. Pass it around. Make somebody smile.
We have found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are, and like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are fate. Destiny awaits. We are all the actors in the stories we create. Hope will be our guide. We'll no longer hide. When we roll like thunder, feel the wonder from inside. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show